Here's a puzzle worth sitting with. A single deep decision tree can be dangerously moody. Feed it a slightly different slice of the same data, and it draws wildly different boundaries. So how do you tame something that's unstable without making it dumber in the process? The answer is almost embarrassingly simple. You train a whole crowd of them on shuffled versions of your data and let them vote. That trick has a name, bagging, and it's the engine humming inside the random forest. Let's unpack how it works. At its core, bagging is a short pipeline you can trace end to end. Follow it one stage at a time. It starts with the bootstrap sample. Take your training set and draw the same number of rows, but sample with replacement, so some rows appear twice and others not at all. Each draw gives you a slightly different view of the data, and you make many of them, one for every model you plan to train. Then train a separate model on each sample, completely independently. Because none of them depend on the others, this whole step is embarrassingly parallel. You can spread it across every core you own, and each model quietly overfits its own particular slice in its own particular way, learning a slightly different set of quirks. Once trained, every model looks at a new example and makes its own prediction. Because each one learned from a different resample, they disagree in small, mostly random ways. That disagreement is not a bug, and it's not something to smooth over. It's precisely the raw material that bagging is about to exploit. Finally, you combine them. Average the predictions for regression, or take a majority vote for classification. The independent errors point in random directions and cancel, while the shared signal survives. So the pooled answer is far steadier than any single model, with no extra bias introduced. So what does all that buy you? Here's the contrast, side by side. A single deep tree has low bias but painfully high variance. It can carve the training data almost perfectly, yet nudge that data a little and its decision boundary lurches somewhere else entirely. Great on the examples it memorized, shaky and unreliable on everything it has never seen before. Bagging averages many such trees and crushes that variance. Each tree is still wobbly on its own, but their wobbles are independent, so pooling them smooths the noise into a stable, dependable predictor. You keep the low bias of a deep tree and throw away most of the jitter, almost for free, which is a remarkable bargain. Boil it down, and 3 ideas capture bagging completely. The first idea is training on bootstrap resamples. Every model sees its own random draw of the data, sampled with replacement, which is what makes the members different enough to be worth combining in the first place. The second idea is the payoff. Averaging or voting across those models cuts variance sharply without raising bias, because independent errors cancel while the true pattern reinforces. It works best on unstable learners like deep trees, and does little for already steady ones like linear models. The third idea is where you've probably met it. The random forest is bagging over decision trees, plus a twist. Each split considers only a random subset of features, decorrelating the trees further. And the rows left out of every sample give a free, honest validation score, the out-of-bag estimate. All right, let's lock in what matters. Bagging, short for bootstrap aggregating, trains many copies of a model on random resamples and combines them to slash variance. Each model gets its own bootstrap sample, drawn with replacement, and the members are pooled by averaging for regression or majority vote for classification. It works because unstable learners make largely independent errors, so averaging cancels the noise without adding any bias to the result. The classic example is the random forest, and you even get out-of-bag validation for free. If this style of plain-spoken machine learning lands for you, There's a whole shelf more of it over at Standarity.com. Come dig in with us.